In the film industry, first of all, I did not see a lot of structure for a newcomer. You have to be everywhere. It's basically you're on your own till you find a solid backing. And it can be a boon and it can be a bane. मतलब अच्छी चीज़ भी हो सकती है, नहीं भी हो सकती.
Tell more.
In the
How?
sense, boon in the sense that then you create stuff.
Then you create stuff.
Then you find ways to create stuff. This book was an accidental book. I'll start off with giving my own personal example to answer your question, how it can be a boon. That, like I said, I felt underwhelmed with the characters that were written for females, and so female actors, and so I thought, मैं लिख सकती हूँ. I've been writing most part of my professional life, so I can write. What is stopping me? And I've studied film, so I know how to write a script. So I can write. What is stopping me? So I wrote, and I wrote that as a script for a web series. मैंने episode 1, 2, 3, 4 ऐसे करके लिखा उसको, bullet points, मतलब just I was putting a story together. जब मैंने उसको expand करना शुरू किया तो मुझे लगा ये episode जो है एक chapter बन सकता है. And then there was so much to say. So then it became a chapter. Then I started writing, and I started exploring all these characters in further depth. And it therefore became a book. So at one point I was like, what is stopping me from making it a book also, if I have something to say? So the point is that this is one way of looking at it and one way of working it out, on how do you want to find a foot in the door. एक वो स्ट्रक्चर है. लेकिन there were people which whom a lot of my friends जो सुबह 9 बजे उठते थे, 9 बजे अपना निकल जाते थे, बैग, डफल बैग में चेंज ऑफ क्लोथ्स, शूज़, मेकअप सब रख के, एंड फ्रॉम दैट टाइम टिल द इवनिंग, till whatever time the casting studios were open or production houses were open, they would just set out for the day. They would go from one place to the other. Aramnagar is one of those areas where in Bombay जहाँ पे बहुत सारे casting studios, production studios, offices हैं, तो auditions होती हैं वहाँ पे. कुछ नहीं हो रहा है तो एक टाइम स्लॉट होता है, जैसे 11 to 1 इन सर्टन स्पेसेस जाके यू गो एंड जस्ट गिव एन इंट्रोडक्शन, सो यू पार्ट ऑफ द डेटाबेस. सो ये लोग निकल जाते थे. कुछ मेरे फ्रेंड्स जो एक्टर्स थे, दे लाइक क्लॉक वर्क एवरी मॉर्निंग, जैसे काम पे जा रहे हैं, ऑफिस जा रहे हैं, दैट काइंड, सो एवरी डे दे वुड गो फ्रॉम से 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then evenings they would meet friends, and those were intentional meetings, in the sense they were not just casual meetings कि just चाय पीने चले गए, but intentional meetings with people who could be sort of a network for them to create. So constantly when you're doing that, then you're a hustler. Then you're just finding ways कि आप किसके through आप किसको मिल सकते हो, who could be a sort of. So essentially, while you're working on your craft, that's one aspect. You also have to work on finding the right people to interact with, or to just sort of be there in that zone, in that circle. So that was one aspect. And so in that sense, there is no structure per se, because you're on your own. Nobody's telling you what to do. That is your way of looking at it. The other is that there is a certain stream. Somebody, when you say आपने कुछ काम कर लिया है, आपने कुछ TV series, ads कुछ कर लिया है, you're somewhat visible, you're already in that circle, people, the casting studios know you, you're on their database, they are calling you. अच्छा, now then they will start calling you specifically. पहले तो आप जाओगे, कोई नहीं जानता, आप introduction दोगे, आप एक आध कोई audition दोस्त बनाओगे, कर लोगे, and then gradually after you spend a little time over there, then the casting studios pick up that ये है, लुक्स वाइज हमको कोई कैरेक्टर चाहिए, या डायलेक्ट वाइज कोई कैरेक्टर चाहिए, या फिर जो भी स्पेसिफिकेशंस के हिसाब से कोई कैरेक्टर चाहिए, या फिर इट्स ओपन टू ऑल, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. एंड सो देन दे विल कॉल यू कि हमारे पास एक ऐसा कैरेक्टर है, ऑडिशन के लिए आप आ सकते हैं. समटाइम्स दोज काइंड ऑफ कॉल्स ऑल्सो कम. सो ग्रेजुअली यू फाइंड, when you start getting to know people, you start understanding how this works. So I would say that there is a structure, but there is not a structure also. Like, you have to be on your own, you have to find your own feet initially as a newcomer. ठीक है, तो this is for most people. Yes, if somebody is coming from a film background, then they already know that, because they already know the people they want to reach out to. They already have a network. The difference between somebody who comes from a film family and who does not is that network. Essentially, the people you know, and the people you know well, right? Because eventually it is, films are made on that basis, right? That who is it that you know, and then how do you, forget the actors, but even the producers, directors, when they will create something, they will only go to people they already know, right? So they will not audition for producers, they will not audition for directors, people who are the actual makers of the film. They will only go to people they already know, right? Essentially. So it just works like that.
So networking is an important part of the
yeah. So it is just, that is how it works, and you begin to start finding a method to that madness on your own. Then the other aspect is that when you've already done some work, then there are talent agencies that want a pound of flesh, and that you know, okay, आप थोड़े visible हैं, अब हम आपको sign up करना चाहेंगे.
Of late, have talent agencies really taken off? As in, I find Dharma and Yash Raj, they have their own different talent.
Now everybody is making, yes. See, the role of a talent agency will always be there, in the sense that how else will the actor or the artist reach out to get those platforms on their own? They will eventually need to have, say, a team. Like I said, it's different for people who are already established, for actors and artists who are already established. They need that kind of a team to make it work for them in terms of finding those people, finding those platforms, finding those avenues and opportunities. But for a newcomer, they essentially have to first start off on their own only. And they have to go and look at, keep working, keep auditioning till they find their work. And eventually, they can also sign up with agencies that are willing to take newcomers on board